Joni Männistö, and I'm an animator, film director, and I'm an artistic director of a Turku Animated Film Festival. I'm from Finland, but I live in Tallinn, Estonia. I think animation has always been, of course, part of my life. I'm being a kid, watching lots of animation. I have three brothers, and through them I watched lots of films since I was a kid. And we had like a big library of VHS. I was reading lots of comics and starting to draw. I guess I thought in the beginning at some point, like maybe I would have liked to do comics or to be a live action filmmaker. But then I learned at one point that actually in my hometown there was a school that was teaching animation. And I chose to apply there because I understood that, hey, you can actually study this. Like before that, I didn't know like how animators exist, how they get into the industry, how they start making films. And I applied there, and then I knew that it's possible to do it as well. Then I went to the higher degree education, which was in Turku, and I moved to study animation there. And we had this very well-known Estonian animator, a director, an illustrator. Priit Pärn was the artistic director of the school, and in the department he was teaching us storytelling and caricature. And the first thing we were shown like independent animation. I had seen independent animation before. My oldest brother was living in Tampere. He was studying there. So through him I already learned to know about Jan Swankmajer and Brothers Quay, many different artistic independent animation directors and their work. But it was really through this Turku school when I was shown much more what kind of independent animation there is. And then starting to go to festivals and seeing like much more and more animation, then I know that I want to do independent animation. In the school that is in my hometown, there was some 3D teaching, some computer animation teaching. But I made a project with my classmate, and we wanted to make a stop motion film. I think it was partly because I was very, like amazed of this Brothers Quay and Jan Swankmajer films. And I thought that I want to make a puppet film, and it was already like back then it was more artistic. But it was puppet film, and we tried to figure out ourselves how to make the puppets because the school really didn't teach how to make puppet animation. But when I went to Turku, one film you make, it's a puppet animation, and we built the sets we had like a nice wood workshop in the school. So we had all the materials we needed, and also, of course, all the equipment. We had studio, so we could kind of already make like almost professional style puppet film. And one important thing in the school was that we are not allowed to use dialogue or text. So the point is to learn how to tell the story just by action, not by explaining what's going to happen. And most of the animators in Finland, they stick with this style. But you can see it lots of in a independent short film that they come without dialogue often. But I never even learned to write dialogue, and I'm not. I like it silent. Now when I write a script, it's actually more like a drawn animation. In general, I have a visual idea, and then visual idea kind of already has the technique inside of it. The chosen technique should be supporting the story, if it's narrative, because it makes it more powerful. You can use it as a storytelling tool. It can make the story so much more meaningful and powerful. But I have always ideas for a more like a non-narrative experimental style. And it's always some kind of a stop motion. I started planning a film quite long ago already, almost 10 years ago. I wanted it to be hand-drawn. I wanted it to be on paper. The studio I was working at that point said that now we are not doing it anymore because it's one like a work phase more. You need to scan the papers in, and then I moved quite a lot into drawing on Cintiq on the screen with the digitally. It's still hand-drawn, but it's digitally hand-drawn. But I guess I get the most pleasure if it's somehow traditional. If there would be paper, I really like the feel of a pencil on a paper. You cannot get that with a plastic. I used to be quite of a purist in this way, that everything now it needs to be traditional. Everything traditional, now I'm more mellow. This is the beauty of animation. You can take any technique. You can do another art form, and then you animate it. The inspiration comes from what I see around. There might be like an art piece of any type of art that inspires me, gives me an idea. Mainly it's a visual idea that comes into my mind. And then, for example, when I do a story, I start with a visual idea, little scene, something. I don't have topic. I'm not a topical filmmaker. I don't think this topic needs to be a film. I get a visual idea or a scene, then start to just put ideas around it. Then after some point there is a topic suddenly. Then usually I draw it. My graduation film is basically a story of a boy who finds a dead bird, and the bird is eaten by insects. The boy starts to play with the insects. He noticed that if you push it, it will explode, it will die. And he finds it so funny, he starts to kill them. Then the insects take over the boy, start to replace his body parts. Originally, I think I draw a picture with a character, just a person, and I made a mistake. I need to fix this mistake to be something else. Then it became a bug, so then I had a person with a bug walking over. And then okay, now I like this image. I like this scene in a film, that there is lots of insects on top of a person. And I remembered myself being a kid, and when you're a small person, you see everything from the ground level. So you saw all the bugs and everything was super interesting. Then the character became a child with the curiosity of a child. Then I thought, like, what should I do? Where I get more inspiration? I was watching nature documentaries, documents about insects, and it was very helpful as well. And then I noticed also that even though, well, you know, in animation there's no limit with your imagination, but nature, that's a weird thing. Like, check all this, what happens in nature, it's cruel. So everything is more weird in the nature if you really check it out. But take something from reality, check how it goes in real life, then I start changing it or using parts of it and in my ideas. I think when I was studying with Bern, and as a teacher, I think he was very good in thinking outside of the box. Just use your full imagination. I think sometimes I've done it that I have some visual idea and I don't know where to go. I've checked some of his caricatures from a book. It's like, oh yeah, you can think like this, and then it already like unblocks something, and you start thinking in a more creative way. What is so satisfying with animation is that you bring something alive. If it's a puppet or anything, it can be a book. It just starts moving and it starts moving, like frame by frame it starts moving. And I think already the thing that you have your original idea and it slowly turns into a film, it's very satisfying. What is hard with animation is that it takes a long time, and especially if you need to work alone, then it's quite hard. For example, I've worked for a long time with a project, but it's so difficult to get funding for it. I'm still like, I'm ready to fight for the project. I believe in the project. I develop it. Then it turns to this like never-ending fight to get money. But that, of course, people need salaries. You need to get money, and then that turns out to be an issue, not getting funding. I don't think I have ever really felt like now I will for real give up. There is moments that are discouraging, but I still believe in my ideas. What I would need to learn a little bit more is to give myself a little bit of mercy. Like when I animate something, for example, and then I'm just like fixing one line for a quite long time, or something isn't happy, and when the animation is running, no one will see it, the mistake, or which is only a mistake for me, not for. So I would need to learn to make things more a bit simple way. It's not that great. Even if I do for a perfect line for myself, that wouldn't be perfect line anyway, because I'm not that great. I'm not that talented in drawing. But yeah, I could do things faster, and the end result would be still good. In animation, we have very nice circles. We have very nice people around, and when film is done, most writings are often quite nice, and I sometimes wish there would be a bit of critique. But then again, I know how hard it is to make a film, and then if after all this work you only get criticism, then it's also horrible. But then I notice when I'm developing a film and when you're applying money and then you get lots of criticism, because everyone is trying to find mistakes or flaws in your work, and you get lots of criticism. When the film is done, you get only praise. Like everyone is just like saying it's good. Criticism I take quite badly. Then I criticize everyone else, and I'm very happy about it. But myself, I think I get it. I take it quite badly, but I can, if I see that there is a point, it's constructive, there is something I can change my work and make it better, then I will take it. If it goes like this, if it's just criticism and no no reasons behind the criticism, then I cannot take it. The dream project is the one that I'm working currently. I want to get that done and then start the next one. I still want to make things small, so I don't need huge amount of money or resources to make the project. I need enough to get a good team and to finish the one that I'm currently making. But I feel I'm lucky with that there is nothing which is actually holding me back. I can do anything I can imagine, I can do it with animation. Any technique I want to choose, I can choose it. Anything can be moved